everybody, welcome back to the Bad Because of Wrestling podcast. My name is Jack, and today we are reviewing SmackDown Live. A fantastic SmackDown Live. I thought it was enjoyable from the first minute up until the last minute. It felt like an important show. They had a lot of number one contenders matches for the Royal Rumble. It just felt important, and it just felt everything was done right. It's weird. I don't get how Raw and SmackDown are produced by the same company. I just don't understand. We started off SmackDown Live with Daniel Bryan in the concourse bit, I think it's called, of the arena, where all the food stores are and whatnot. And he was outside a concession stand which sells meat and drink and coke and all that. Not drug, obviously. But he stands there, he berates the concession stands, he berates all the fans that are standing out in the Concord. And he then goes up to a man who's eating a hot dog on one of these standing tables. He robs the hot dog off him, berates the man for eating the hot dog, chucks the hot dog at the guy's face. It's unbelievable. He then goes up to another man, he's wearing an AJ Styles top, robs his big bucket, let's say, of Coca-Cola, not Coke, berates that man, chucks it against his shirt. Somehow he manages to keep the plastic cup in his hand, because he kind of chucked it, all the liquid went on the guy's shirt, and then he chucked the plastic cup at the guy afterwards as well, so pretty mental. He then came down from the top of the stairs in the crowd, I guess you could say, walked down the crowd slowly, berating, not every fan, obviously that would take time, but picking out a few fans that he berated, calling them fickle and whatnot, and he said he was out here changing the world. Alright, Daniel. Considering what happened earlier on in the day in Jacksonville, a decent choice of words there, I would say. He's just getting some fantastic heat on himself, calling everyone fickle, doing anything he can to get some heel heat, and it was working. Everyone was booing him, everyone was in his face. He or Daniel Bryan, I didn't think I'd like it. Obviously, the American Dragon was a fantastic heel character, but I didn't know if I'd like vegan heel Daniel Bryan. And it's fantastic. It's just such a brilliant character. I'm loving every minute of it at the moment. I think this probably might have been better than if he'd carried on his feud with The Miz, I would say. So I'm glad this has happened, because I'm really enjoying it, if I'm honest. He's very, very good at it. He finally gets down to ringside, and he's attacked by a very fired up R-Truth. They're supposed to have a match, which they do. It's happening right now, as they say. So R-Truth came out of absolute nowhere, just attacked him, they got into the ring, and then the match started. It wasn't a very very long match even. R-Truth had some fantastic babyface fire, make him look fairly strong going into the Rumble, where he's entering number 30. We don't know which Rumble he's entering 30 in yet, but yeah, it was good babyface fire from him, and he's always a decent worker. He's looking good, more and more of age. But Daniel Bryan running knee, picking up the W for himself. He then walks back up the ramp, tries to go backstage, but he's attacked from behind by an AJ Styles, the real AJ Styles, as they're saying now. And AJ Styles just slapping him up throughout the entrance ramp, and then off to the side bit as well. AJ's just slapping him up before all the refs and all the backstage producers and whatnot come out, stop them brawling, and Daniel Bryan runs away in fear of AJ Styles. But like Raw, it was a hectic and entertaining opening to the show, and I enjoyed every minute of it. After that, I was pretty much all linked in. This is all one. Rey Mysterio came out to have a tag team match. It was Rey Mysterio, Mustafa Ali versus Samoa Joe and Cien Andrade. Cien Almas. Each man in this match had fantastic chemistry. They all worked. So whatever combination was in the ring, it all worked, and it all looked so nice in the ring. You know, you had the younger guys in Almas and Ali. They've got experience, but not as much experience as the likes of Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe. But like I said, no matter what combination there was, it just looked fantastic. It looked like they'd wrestled each other for years. Um, each man looked strong. It was a fantastic match to watch, and we have seen a pile driver, not an Undertaker pile driver, not a Kane pile driver, a pile driver from Rey Mysterio, a Canadian destroyer, to be precise, from a Rey Mysterio to Cien Almas on WWE TV on a SmackDown. What? What? And they were showing it off, like on the YouTube highlights. They showed it off on Twitter. I think it was WWE Universe or something like that Twitter page, a verified one. They showed it off. They were like, "We told you this would be good. Here's a pile driver." It's like mental. But no, Ray, you test the strength thing with Almas, and then Ray kind of pushed him up on his feet. Almas managed to control himself with his head, just there, not quite against the ropes, but he managed to flick himself back up, lifted Ray up to kind of look like he was going to go for an Alabama Slam or something like that, but then it transitioned perfectly into a Canadian Destroyer. If you don't know what Canadian Destroyer is, look it up, but it's just it's one of those jump-in, spin-in pile drivers pretty much, and it just looked so beautiful. It was done perfectly. It just shows what good chemistry Ray and Almas have, and it just shows how good they both are. Later on to the match, Ray goes for a 619 on Almas, but Almas manages to counter it, hits a gutbuster on him, and then his, I forgot what his name of his finish is called, double arm lock DDT, I'm going to call it, because that's what it is. He hit it to Rey Mysterio, and Almas picking up the pin on Rey Mysterio, which might not sound huge, but considering how Almas has been booked recently, that is huge. That is massive. It might actually start Almas becoming a bit more frequent on SmackDown Live, which we all want. We all want, because he's so good. He's proven that with Rey Mysterio early in the match, that he's just so good. He's proven that with matches with AJ and with Daniel Bryan. The man's a monster. Put him in a feud, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good. But yeah, the heels beating the faces even, with Almas picking up the win against Rey Mysterio. We then had a backstage segment with Shane McMahon and The Miz. Still not convinced on this, but The Miz questions Shane McMahon's logic in giving the Usos a chance. Basically, the Usos, we'll get onto the match later on, but the Usos had to beat the Bar to face the Bar at Royal Rumble, if that makes sense. So The Miz was questioning Shane McMahon's logic, and Shane was like, look, basically The Miz just wanted a title shot from them. Like, the best tag team in the world deserve a title shot, apparently. And Shane was like, look, I'm not going to exploit or abuse my powers in being a McMahon. We're going to have to earn our shot. We're going to have to, have some matches to make sure we're confident we can win. We can't go straight into a title picture. The Miz doesn't look too pleased, but he agrees. He's The Miz. He's got something up his sleeve. And we move on quickly into Rusev, who's in the ring. And he talks about last week and how the stuff happened with Shinsuke Nakamura and Lana, with Lana becoming injured and Lana's at home, apparently. And that this week he no longer sees himself as US champion. He sees himself as a husband. And that's where something clicked in Rusev's head, and he went back to kind of like the Rusev of old. Like, it was a bit, his accent kind of changed. He got a bit more aggressive, but not in like a heel aggressive way. It was like a fired up babyface aggressive way, which was good. He calls Shinsuke out for crossing the line and said that he's going to crush Shinsuke. Shinsuke Nakamura then pops up on the Titantron, and he's in the TV area, the TV truck, whatever you call it. And he said, look, Rusev, it wasn't my fault that Lana got injured. Let's have a look at the tape from last week, and we can see that actually it was your fault. And we show the tape from last week, And, you know, Lana was on Nakamura's back, and Rusev hit the match kick on Nakamura. So, you know, you can see where Shinsuke's coming from. And Shinsuke comes back on the screen and went, Rusev, it was your fault. You crushed Lana. And Rusev was not having any of it. And Rusev said, if you're not going to come down to the ring, I'll come to you. Rusev sprints off up the ramp, goes to the backstage, asks where the TV truck is, but gets trapped by Nakamura. Nakamura has one of these big heavy-duty equipment boxes, and starts ramming it into Rusev's midriff over and over again. Rusev's like in pain, obviously, and the referees come, try and split everything up. They manage to get Nakamura away. Rusev's up onto one knee, but as expected, Shinsuke Nakamura comes back, hits a Kinshasa on him, and Rusev is laid out once more by Nakamura. And see, I don't mind this, you know. They got rid of rematch clauses, that's fine. I actually like that. I actually like that they've got rid of rematch clauses, if I'm honest. But that doesn't mean that the former champion doesn't need to not have a title shot, if that's what I mean. Like, this feud's bubbling over quite well, and I'm quite enjoying it. It's the first time I've enjoyed the Shinsuke Nakamura feud in quite a while, and it's good. And hopefully they get another match at the Rumble, because those two deserve to be at the Rumble, if I'm honest. Shinsuke Nakamura is one hell of a worker. Rusev is, if it wasn't for Becky, one of the most over people in 2018, so they both deserve it. But yeah, Nakamura getting the upper hand on Rusev once again. Next up, we had that match I mentioned earlier on, the Bar versus the Usos, and as expected, this match was fantastic. We always expect a fantastic match from whatever combination it is. The Bar versus the Usos versus the New Day, the New Day versus the Bar. It's always going to be a fantastic match. This was no different. You can tell they've been working together for a hell of a long time. The chemistry was all there. There were some fantastic near falls in the picture as well. And it felt like you didn't know which way it was going to go, because obviously this is a number one contenders match where the Usos had to beat the Bar to face the Bar at the Rumble. And we didn't know which way it was going to go. But right at the end of the match, Mandy Rose came out. Obviously, we're having this whole thing with Mandy versus Naomi, and they're bringing Jimmy in it, because Jimmy's the husband of Naomi, obviously. And Mandy's out in a towel and slippers. Obviously, she sent a picture to Jimmy Uso, that professionally done picture to Jimmy Uso last week, and said, Jimmy, did I leave my short trunks and my short top in your hotel room? And they've booked this very differently to a normal, oh, woman tries to get another man feud. It's Jimmy Uso didn't give a shit until Mandy Rose started lying, and he turned around like, what the hell are you on about? Ultimately cost, as soon as he turned around, that cost the Usos the match, because the Sheamus just ran at Jimmy Uso, knocked him off the apron with force. Cesaro picked up Jey Uso as they were trying to get the tag, obviously. Cesaro picked up Jey Uso, hit him with the neutralizer, and the Bar beat the Usos. Not really cleanly, with Mandy Rose interfering, but this got a lot of hate on the internet, and I don't mind it, if I'm honest. I don't like women's feuds that, you know, they're feuding because the one's trying to get to the other one's husbands. Like, I don't like that, but it makes sense to carry on their feud in this feud, if you get what I mean. It does make sense, and there was always going to be interference, because I never once thought, yeah, the Usos could beat the Bar, and then I'd think, oh, but if the Usos are beating the Bar here, are they going to beat the Bar at the Royal Rumble? Just add someone new there, and that's what we got. We got someone added new into the title picture for the Royal Rumble, and the match has been made for the Royal Rumble. It will be the Bar versus The Miz and Shane McMahon. This is because The Miz came out and congratulated the Bar on winning their match and said, look, I'm going to offer you a challenge. Why not face the best tag team in the world at the Royal Rumble for your tag team titles? And Cesaro said, You want us to accept a match between an untried, untested, uncoordinated tag team. Let me just coordinate with Sheamus and see what we can do. Sheamus just smacks The Miz with a brogue kick and says, we accept, throws the mics on him and walks off again. Later on in the night, Shane was like, what the hell are you doing? That's not what I was going on about. And The Miz was like, look, we've got tag team matches now. I'm confident we're going to win. So yeah, that's confirmed. Shane McMahon and The Miz versus The Bar at the Royal Rumble for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. And I'm not the most excited, because I still don't really get the Shane McMahon Miz storyline. I don't really know where it's going. But it's a new matchup that we haven't seen, I guess. So I'm more than happy with that. We'll have to see what happens. We had a passionate promo, if you will, from Daniel Bryan, looking fantastic. He had crazy eyes and everything. The interviewer asked her that, I can't remember the interviewer's name, bad of me, asked that Daniel Bryan's not had a very good night after what happened earlier, and Daniel Bryan was like, what, not had a very good night because some fat bloke put mustard on my shirt? He was like, no, about AJ Styles. And then Daniel Bryan starts just going off at the interviewer and like really shouting at her in her face, saying like his crazy eyes are mental, saying that AJ Styles is only upset because he knows that Daniel Bryan will be WWE champion forever. It was just a fantastic promo, absolutely fantastic. Daniel Bryan is really good. But that led in quite well to the match, the main event of the evening, the triple threat to see who would face Asuka at the Royal Rumble. We had Becky Lynch versus Carmella versus Charlotte. Throughout the night, they had promos from each woman individually, like a backstage pre-recorded promo, sat down with another person. And it felt a bit NXT-like, and it felt cracking. Like, kind of interviewing each woman as a promo to build up and having them run throughout the night to build up this main event. I loved it. It felt like a big deal once we get into it. And when you've got the likes of Becky Lynch coming out and the likes of Charlotte and Carmella, who's was champion, and they've transitioned her really well to be champion into this thing with R-Truth and then back to potential title picture. They've transitioned her very, very well. And in that time, she's improved drastically as well, which is fantastic to see. But this match, I wouldn't say it was disappointing. It wasn't disappointed by far. It was still a decent match. But at times it was quite sloppy. It felt like at times they were trying too hard. But you can't blame them for that. It was a decent triple threat. All three women looked strong. All three women looked on top of the triple threat at points. And it was... Becky Lynch won, which I'm now worried about, because obviously they can pull double duty. Becky Lynch can lose that match and then go into the Rumble. But she can't lose cleanly against Asuka. But then you want Asuka to have a dominant title reign, and she needs to beat someone cleanly. So at the moment you think like Becky versus Asuka, Ronda's going to come down again or something like that. Asuka hasn't, like, she's won the belt, she hasn't defended it since, and she hasn't won cleanly. So it's just a bit... One hand, I want Asuka to win cleanly and look strong. On the other hand, I don't want Becky to look weak, and there's a chance that she might not go into the Rumble, but they'll be stupid not to put her into the Rumble if she loses. I was going to say win or lose. If she wins, she doesn't need to, but she's the man at the end of the day. She can do what she wants. The finish of the match saw Charlotte hit 2 spears, but couldn't capitalise. Becky put Carmella into the disarm her, and Carmella tapping out. Not quickly, but fairly quickly. And yeah, we're going to get Asuka versus Becky. It should be a fantastic match. We've not seen these two in a while. We've probably seen it before, but we've not seen these two in a while. And hopefully that Becky can pull double duty. That's what I'm hoping. Because if she's not in the Rumble, that could be like more crowd backfired and when Daniel Bryan wasn't in the Rumble. So I'm hoping that Becky Lynch, because I want Becky Lynch to win the Rumble. I want her to win the Rumble and then go face Ronda. I think everyone wants that. But if she wins the title here, which I don't think she will, I think they'll keep the title on Asuka for a bit longer. But there's always that chance that if she wins the title here, we could get SmackDown Live Champion versus Raw Women's Champion at WrestleMania. It's interesting times ahead. I'd like to see how they do it and how they go about this. But that was SmackDown Live. Like I said, a fantastic throughout SmackDown Live. That's probably going to be the name of the on the thumbnail and whatnot, title on the thing. A fantastic throughout. I'm going to give it, if you didn't see Raw review yesterday, you know that we're doing a different thing now. We're going to bring in the best star rating system of all time. There's been other star rating systems being done on matches and whatnot, but some people can't count and they go over 5 stars. So we're going to stick it to 5 stars, and I'm going to give SmackDown Live a 4-star out of 5. A fantastic show, but it wasn't quite a 5-star worthy. Something massive, maybe like a big title change has to happen to be 5-star worthy. 4 stars out of 5. It was a fantastic show. Very, very good throughout. And I really enjoyed myself. It didn't feel like 2 hours of TV, which necessarily that's what you want, don't you? But if you did like that, please leave a like on the video. It means a hell of a lot to me. Please subscribe if you're new around here or you haven't done so already. Leave a comment on what you thought of SmackDown Live. And I shall see you again tomorrow. Or maybe later on, depends on how I'm feeling, with a 205 live review. Hopefully Matt will be doing an NXT review as well. So, got a lot more videos to look forward to. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.